shit in prison. I ain't gonna lie. But one crazy thing, crazy as fuck, I seen in prison, right? It was this old nigga, right? He was in prison, right? Nigga was ugly as shit, right? Like the nigga whole face, like the nigga whole face was opened up. And you could see it like it was open, like I ain't gonna lie, like blood, it was like healed, but his face was like open and you could see blood teeth like through his face, like you could see like it was like a bad wound, like horrible ass wound, right? So I used to always see this, oh, it was an old nigga, right? And he was kind of weird, looked like he probably was smoking crack on the street. Like he had that, all right. And then blood used to be in the child hall. We be in the child hall. And I always found myself looking at blood eat. Like blood, that nigga look like I'm not lying, blood, nigga look like a fucking velociraptor. Like serious shit, like a velociraptor. Nigga whole face opened up like a dinosaur. You know how a dinosaur would, like blood. So that shit like he used to be eating, but you could see the food through his cheek, blood. He be eating. I used to be disgusted, but I always was like, you know how you be disgusted but intrigued? It was like, I always wondered, like, blood, what the fuck happened to this nigga's face? Like, blood. So, right. So one day, like one fateful day, right? I had been on the yard like probably like 3 months already, blood. So one day, blood, I said, fuck this. One day, he ended up sitting at the table, like right next to me, right? The nigga was not at my table because he used to be all homies at my table. Like, you know how you walk to the child with the homies? So it was all homies at my table. It was all 4 homies, 4 seats, 4 homies, nigga. That's how I wrote. 4 seats, 4 homies, nigga. Yeah, this the blood table, nigga. But I mean, fast forward. So blood was at the next table though, right here. So he's sitting there fucking it up. Looking like a raptor. I'm looking at blood, like, right? You can see the food all on blood tongue. Just imagine me eating with the whole side of my face, you know? And you can see teeth and food and tongue and like it's fucking disgusting, right? So he over there eating like a raptor getting fed, right? So I just said, fuck it this day. You know what, bro? I'm tired of this shit, nigga. I asked him, excuse me, black man. Hey, black man. Hey, what happened, bro? How that happen? And he told me the story, what happened. He was actually a cool nigga, right? The nigga told me the story, what happened. So the nigga had been in jail at the time. This was like 2009. But at the time, the nigga had been in jail like 30-something years already. He been in jail like 30, he been in prison for like 30-something years. And the reason he been in prison for 30-something years is because he came home and found that nigga Nate getting this girl out of bind. I'm in a bind, Nate. My nigga Nate was in there. Nigga walked in his house. His girl was in there. Nate was getting her out that bind. Blood pumping on his bitch. Blood like he walked in and caught him like, Nate, I'm in a bind, Nate. So blood in there pumping on his bitch. Sweating. So blood go get his shotgun. He go get the shotgun. You know, blood old school nigga always got a shotgun. Like every man should have a shotgun. Like, I believe in that too. Every man should have a shotgun. Like, you know what I mean? Not to carry around, just to keep your family safe. Like blood, we can't like, you know what I mean? How you gonna keep your family safe? You ain't got no shotgun, nigga. So blood goes and grabs the shotgun. Nigga goes in there, blows them both away. Boom. Boom, blows him away with the shotgun. Both of them blew his head off, blew the nigga head off. He was still pumping, blew Nate's head off. Nate was getting her out that bind. He didn't even know it was coming. Like, splattered that shit, bro. So he told me the story, but splattered that shit. He said, I blew his head off. I caught him on top of my wife. I blew his head off. Splattered the shit. Then, you know, naturally she said, ah! He said, I loved her, but I blew her head off too. He said that. I'm telling you what he told me. See, I blew her head off too. Old nigga was crazy. So then he wasn't going back to prison. He already been out of jail. He had just got out. He only had been out about 10 weeks. He said he had just got out of prison. He had only been out like 10 weeks when this happened. So he wasn't going up. So guess what he do? Blood put the shotgun in his mouth. He put the shotgun in his mouth. Oh, God, forgive me. He put the shotgun in his mouth, try to blow his head off too. But he didn't die. He didn't die. The only thing, like, he blew his head off, blew her head off, tried to blow his head off, but you didn't die. Like, so it just blew the side of his face up, blew his whole cheek out, took him to the hospital, patched him up, sent that nigga to prison, blood, for the rest of his life without the possibility of parole. Never, ever have a possibility of touching the streets. Serious shit, bro. Shout out to that man, man. God bless that man. I hope, like, if he resting or if he's still in prison. Shout out to that man. God bless. Because he was a real cool, like, quiet nigga. You know how them niggas be weird? He was weird. He's, like, always quiet, though. Real quiet. Don't fuck with nobody. Fuck with himself. He just come to child. You always see him. He always looked happy that it was child time. Like, you know, a nigga be walking fast. Like, you know how we be bailing because we want to talk to a nigga. You know, we want to have time out the cell, chopping it up. Blood got a child fast. He walk fast. He be starving. Blood be in there fucking the food off. He fucks it up and gets up out of there. I used to always watch Blood. Like, I finally talked to Blood. Nigga was fucking interesting. Like, Blood, like, serious shit. The story touched me, and that was 2009. 2009. The story touched me, though. I never forgot that shit. I said, damn, that was fucking crazy, Blood. Crazy shit. Shout out to that man. Shout out to that man. Anyway, moving along. Good morning, good people. Top of the morning to the gangsters. It's the deal. Chop up.